Have you ever sat down to work on something only to look up and realize hours have disappeared? Or maybe you've promised yourself to be on time, but somehow you're late. Again. It's frustrating, isn't it? But what if I told you this isn't just a bad habit? What if this is something happening inside your brain? We're exploring something that affects so many of us, yet we hardly talk about it. Time blindness. What is it? Why does it happen? And most importantly, how can we learn to work around it? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might change the way you think about time forever. So, let's start with a story. Imagine this. Hellen is a brilliant software developer. She's creative, sharp, and great at her job. But Helen's always late. Meetings, deadlines, even casual dinners with friends. She doesn't mean to be. In fact, she tries really hard. But no matter what, time just seems to slip away from her. Sound familiar? What Hellen is experiencing is what we call time blindness. Now, it's not a medical condition, but it's a very real struggle for many people. Time blindness is when someone has trouble sensing the passage of time. It's like having a clock in your head that's out of sync with the rest of the world. And before you blame Hellen for being disorganized or lazy, let's dig a little deeper into why this happens. Here's something you might not know. Time isn't something we see or touch. It's something we feel. And that feeling comes from the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning and decision-making. But what if that part of the brain isn't working as it should? Well, studies show that people with conditions like ADHD, autism, or even chronic stress often have lower activity in their prefrontal cortex. This makes it harder for them to estimate how long things will take or to prioritize what needs to be done. Let me share a surprising stat with you. A study published in the Journal of Attention Disorders found that up to 70% of adults with ADHD struggle with time management. Think about that for a moment. It's not about being careless. It's literally how their brains are wired. But it's not just people with ADHD. Did you know that most of us are terrible at estimating time? In fact, researchers at the American Psychological Association found that humans consistently underestimate how long tasks will take by as much as 40%. Why? Because we tend to focus on the immediate steps, not the bigger picture. Have you ever been so caught up in something, a book, a game, scrolling through your phone, that you lost track of time? Or maybe the opposite. You've been in a boring meeting that felt like it would never end. That's your brain playing tricks on you. Psychologists call this the elastic perception of time. When we're engaged, time feels short. When we're bored, it stretches. And here's another twist. Technology might be making things worse. Think about how often you check your phone in a day. A report from the Behavioral Science Journal found that the average person spends over 3 hours a day on their phone. But here's the kicker. Every time you switch between apps, your brain resets its sense of time. By the end of the day, it's no wonder you feel like time just disappeared. Now, let me tell you about Alvin. He's a university student juggling classes, a part-time job, and his social life. He sets alarms, writes to-do lists, but somehow he's always running late. Turns out, Alvin has what experts call a present-focused bias. This means his brain is more focused on what's happening right now than on what's coming next. Sound familiar? If it does, hit that like button. Let's see how many of us are in the same boat. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are ways to manage time blindness. And no, it's not about buying another planner or setting 100 alarms. Let me share a few tips that actually work. First, use visual timers. A study from the University of Oxford showed that visualizing time, like using a countdown timer, can improve task completion by 60%. Try setting one for 25 minutes, focus on your task, and then take a 5-minute break. It's called the Pomodoro technique, and it's a game changer. Second, break tasks into smaller steps. Let's say you need to clean your house. Instead of thinking, I'll do it later, break it down. I'll start with the kitchen for 15 minutes. Psychologists call this chunking, and it's been proven to make tasks feel more manageable. Third, reward yourself. Research published in Cognitive Research found that gamifying tasks, like earning points or small rewards, boosted productivity by 45%. So, treat yourself to something small when you finish a task. But let's not stop here. Let's question something bigger. Is time even real? Physicist Carlo Rovelli argues that what we perceive as time is just our way of making sense of change. And Einstein himself said that time is relative. If you're on a spaceship moving close to the speed of light, time would pass differently for you than for someone on Earth. So maybe, just maybe, time blindness isn't a flaw. Maybe it's a reminder that time isn't as rigid as we think. Maybe it's about living in the moment, but finding balance so we don't lose sight of what's ahead. So, what do you think? Have you experienced time blindness? And how has it affected your life? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone who might also feel like they're always running out of time. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Universal Insights, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Together, we'll explore life's mysteries, one question at a time.